A very good morning to my dear students of class 11 science. Welcome to biology class. So we are dealing with the chapter animal kingdom. In the last class we have learned about the basis of animal classification. Clear? We have seen the different parameters where we are able to classify the animals into different phylum. Okay, so we'll continue with that topic only. So now let us see what are the different phylums under the animal kingdom. So you have put the phylum Porifera, okay, phylum Nidaria, Tenophora, Platyhelminthes, Acyhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemicodata, and Chordata. So this phylum has been categorized depending on those bases of animal classifications which we have learned in our earlier classes or in our previous classes. Okay, so first of all we'll see with the phylum Porifera. We will see their general characteristics and we will also see examples under the phylum Porifera. So let us begin with the first phylum of the animal kingdom, that is phylum Porifera. So phylum Porifera are also generally known as sponges. Okay, they are aquatic, plant-like, fixed or sedentary forms. That means they are attached to the fixed positions. They cannot change their place. Okay, so they are sedentary forms. They are always fixed to their positions. Now they are radially symmetrical. So all these terms we have done in our previous classes. Okay, so I am not going to discuss in details about the symmetric forms. Okay, so number two, they are radially symmetrical or they are asymmetrical animals. They have got cellular level of organizations and they are diploblastic. Okay, although the cell are differentiated to carry out different functions, but the cell will not form a group to form a tissues. So they have got cellular level of organizations and they have got diploblastic, the embryonic germ layer cells. They have got ectoderm and endoderm. Now the most important thing is the body of poriferans are perforated by numerous pores. Numerous pores are present within the body of the sponges and those minute pores are called ostia. O-S-T-I-A, ostia. Okay, so water enters the body of the sponges through the help of these minute pores which are called ostia, and they will enter into the central cavity which is called the spongocells, and from the central cavity the water will come out through the osculum, O-S-C-U-L-U-M. So here you are getting the few terms like ostia, okay, spongocell and the osculum. So you said that the body of the poriferans contains the minute pores which are called ostia. Through this ostia the water body will the water molecules will enter the body of the sponges into a central cavity, and the central cavity is called spongocells, and from the central cavity the water will come out through the osculum. So this type of system is known as water canal system or water transport system. So presence of water canal system or presence of water transport system is one of the most essential feature of the phylum Porifera or of that of the sponges. Next one, conate cells or collar cells are present in the spongocells and the canal. Clear? Next thing, digestion is intracellular, development is indirect, and when we are talking about the indirect development then it will include the larval stage. So therefore the larval stage of the poriferans are empiblastula larva. So when we talk about the direct development and the indirect development, direct development means the young ones will resemble like that of the adult. Okay, but when we talk about the indirect ones then there will be the larval stage. They are hermaphrodite, means they are dioecious. Both the male and the female sex organs are present in the same individuals. And lastly, the body of these sponges are supported by skeleton which is made up of spicules or the spongin fiber. So these are the general characteristic features of the phylum Poriferans or that of the sponges, and we'll take few examples like Euspongia and Spongilla. So let's go through the diagram. Let's check it out. So the first one you can see over here, the presence of water canal system in the sponges. So this is the central canal which is called the spongocells, and the water from the central canal goes out to the osculum, the single opening. Okay, so the water molecules will go out from the central cavity to the outside through the help of osculum, and this one is the empiblastula larva of sponges. And let us check out the few examples of phylum Porifera. So you can see the examples like Cycon. Okay, you can see Leucosolinia. Clear? So here you can see the ostia, the minute pores present on the body of poriferans. Okay, and within this body we will find central cavity which is called the spongocells, and we have a central opening which is called the osculum. So we have got the few examples over here like Chalina, okay, Cliona, then Spongia, then Spongilla. These are the few examples of the phylum Poriferans. Now let us go to the next phylum, that is phylum Terata or the phylum Cnidaria. Okay, so first of all, habitats, they are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile or free living. Sessile means they are confined to a fixed position, they are immovable, they are non-motiles, or free swimming means they are able to move from one place to another place, and they have got radial symmetry. Clear? Okay, now the name Cnidarian is derived by the presence of special type of cells called the cnidoblast cells or the cnidocyte cells. Due to the presence of cnidoblast cells or the cnidocyte cells, they are known as Cnidaria. So these cnidoblast cells or the cnidocyte cells bears the stinging capsules or the nematocytes. Clear? Now, the function of cnidoblast cells or the cnidocyte cells is for anchorage, defense, and to capture the prey. Alright, let's go to the next character. They have got tissue level of organizations and they are diploblastic. So they also bear the only two embryonic germ layer cells. Digestions can be extracellular and it can be intracellular also. And some of the cnidarians like corals, their exoskeletons are made of calcium carbonate. Alright, now we'll go to the most important character, that cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms. One is called the polyp and the medusa. Remember this thing, okay? Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms, polyp and medusa. Polyp is sessile, they are cylindrical form, example hydra, and medusa is umbrella shaped and they are free swimming like Aurelia or jellyfish. So polyp is sessile, okay, and they are cylindrical form, whereas medusa is umbrella shaped and they are free swimming. Now those cnidarians which exist in both the forms like this polyp and medusa, they has alternation of generation, which is called metagenesis. That means the polyp will produce the medusa asexually and medusa will produce the polyp sexually. So this is called alternation of generation or metagenesis. Meta means multi and genesis means formation, because here the polyp is producing medusae asexually and medusae is producing polyp sexually. So this is called alternation of generations. And the few examples of Phyllomeria are Adamsia, the sea anemone, Pennatula, the common name is sea pen, Gorgonia, the common name is sea fan. Okay, so look at the polyform and the medusa form of cnidarians. So here you can see the polyform of the cnidarians and the umbrella shaped form, which is the medusae. Clear? So let's see the few examples now. So here you can see the hydra, which is the cnidarian. Then we have got Physalia, the Portuguese man of war. Okay, we have got jellyfish Aurelia. Then we have got Adamsia, the sea anemone. Then we have got star coral. Okay, then we have got Gorgonia, the sea fan. These are the few examples that belongs to the phylum Cnidaria. But remember that they contain the special cell called cnidoblast cells or the cnidocyte cell. Hence the name is given Cnidaria. Let's go to the next phylum, which is called the phylum Tenophora. So this phylum Tenophora, they are generally known as cum jellies or the walnuts. Okay, they are marine, radially symmetrical, they are diploblastic with tissue level of organization. So I'm not going to explain that what the radial symmetry means, what does diploblastic means, what the tissue level of organization means, because all these terms I have discussed already in our first class of animal kingdom. So kindly go through the first video. Okay, now the most important thing is that the body of Tenophores bears 8 external rows of ciliated completes. Listen very carefully that the body of Tenophora, they bears 8 external rows of ciliated completes. Ciliated complete means the completes which are made up of cilia, and these completes will help in locomotion. Now let us see the completes. If you look over here, these are the long tentacles. This is the mouth part and this is the anal pore part. Now this one, okay, these structures which called the comp row, these are usually shown 4 in number, but these type of structures are 8 in number. They are called the completes. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the completes which are present in the members of the phylum Tenophora, and this will help in locomotion. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular, and the most important property that is shown by the member of this phylum Tenophora is the property of bioluminescence, the property of living organisms to emit light, and they are able to emit light due to the presence of certain light bearing pigments which are called the photocytes. Okay, they are hermaphrodite. Here also the sexes are not separate. The male and female sex organs are present on the same individuals, and reproduction takes place by only sexual means. Fertilization is external, it takes place on the surrounding medium, and development is indirect, it involves the larval stage. So example is Pleurobrachial and Tenoplana. Okay, these are the few examples of phylum Tenophora. Now let us go to the next phylum, which is called the phylum Platyhelminthes, the flatworms, because they are dorso-ventrally flattened. Okay, from the back and the front they are totally flat in structure, so they are called dorso-ventrally flattened, and hence the name called flatworms. So they are mostly endoparasites. They are present within the body of the animals, including the human beings. So third point, they are bilaterally symmetrical, they are triploblastic, they are ocellomate, they don't bear body cavity, and they have got organ level of organization. Remember these things. So they are triploblastic. Now, since they are parasitic form, since they are endoparasites, so suckers and hooks are present in the parasitic forms. Hooks mainly to anchor within the body of the host, and suckers to mainly to draw the nourishment from the host. So hooks and suckers are mainly present in the parasitic forms. Specialized cells called the phylum cells, F-L-A-M-E, phylum cells, they are present for osmoregulation and excretion. So if the question comes, what is the name of the organ that helps in osmoregulation and excretion in Platyhelminthes? Your answer will be the phylum cells. Okay, they are also hermaphrodite because sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect because it takes place through larval stage. And some members of the Platyhelminthes like planaria, the worm, they have got the capacity to regenerate. That if any body parts will be lost or will be removed, let's say, then that body parts can regenerate. That is called regeneration, and those cells are called regenerative cells. So they have got a property of regeneration also. So examples like Taenia, the Taenia solium, and Fasciola, the liver fluid. So let's see the diagram. So here you can see the few examples of Platyhelminthes, the planaria worm, which has got the property of regenerations. Then Fasciola, we have got Schistosoma also. Okay, then we have got the tapeworm, which belongs to the phylum Platyhelminthes. So they are dorso-ventrally flattened. Clear? Now let us move to the next phylum, which is called the phylum XAVIER'S, or the phylum Nematoda. So the body of the XAVIER'S, it looks circular in cross section, hence they are also known as roundworm. So the common name is roundworm since they used to appear round in circular in cross sections. Okay, so they may be free living, they may be aquatic or terrestrials, and there can be parasitic form of life also. They may be parasitic in plants and in animals. Okay, so they have got the organ system level of organizations. They are bilaterally symmetricals, they are triploblastics, and they are pseudo-coelomate animal. Coelom is present, but coelom is not lined by mesoderm. It will be present in the form of pouches, so it is called pseudo-coelomate. Pseudo means false. Okay, then alimentary canal is well developed with the muscular pharynx. Sexes are separate, that is, we can see sexual dimorphism in XAVIER'S because the male and female are different. Okay, and since male and female are different, female is to be little longer than the male. So male are shorter than that of the females, and in case of males, the posterior end is curved and has a pair of penial setae. Okay, we can see over here that in case of male, the posterior end is curved, and this curved part bears the penial setae, and females are longer than that of the male. Okay, fertilization is internal and development may be direct or indirect. So examples are Ascaris, the roundworm, Wucheria, the filarial worm, and Enclystoma, the hookworm. So here just look over here. Even in case of interobias also, the male is shorter than the female, and the posterior part is slightly curved and bears the penial setae. In Ascaris also, the female is longer than the male, and the posterior part of the male is slightly curved and bears the penial setae. And in Enclystoma also, the female is longer than the male. Okay, and this is the Wucheria one. Okay, so here we have finished the few phylums. We have to learn about the phylum Porifera, then Niteria. Okay, then Tenophora, we have gone through it. We have gone to the phylum Platyhelminthes, and we have also gone to the phylum XAVIER'S. So this much for today. We will continue with the same topic. We will see the remaining phylums in the next class. Thank you, and see you in next class.